Yeah, I just don't really know where they go from, honestly, from this. I just believe that, them making this trade, it just, to me, they probably felt like Brown couldn't coexist with Tatum anymore. They were probably getting sick and tired of him. And honestly, too, the rumors and the reports and the news outlets and the media trying to bash Jaylen Brown and make the excuses, or the Celtics making the excuses of why they did the trade, even though how bad it was. It's a bit nasty work. I've seen Colin Coward, you know, Colin Coward, by the way, is a hot take guy. This guy is not a true analyst. He's not a true, analyzing the game. He's just making a bunch of hot takes. And so him going on his podcast and saying, oh yeah, I've had two sources, an executive and a scout, say that Jaylen Brown has a disease to where he thinks he's the smartest in the room, and it's a disease. Jaylen Brown is an educated black man, not just an educated black man, one of the very few smartest people probably in all of sports. This guy has went to Cal Berkeley, had an internship with NASA, has taught lectures at MIT and Harvard. So Jaylen Brown is a very educated, well-spoken black man. I feel like in today's society, people look at that and look at that as a threat, or people will try and tear that down, or people try and tear him down just because he's a well-spoken, educated black man. It's honestly a little bit sickening, in my opinion. And honestly, if I'm Jaylen Brown, I look at the disrespect. I see what they're doing in the media, taking it out on me and trying to make excuses into reasons why I'm a negative player because I'm smart. It doesn't make any sense. So Colin Coward saying the reason why the Celtics traded Jaylen Brown is because he has a disease of being the smartest in the room for Paul George, two first round picks and two second rounders. Does that make any sense? It makes no sense. It makes absolutely zero amount of sense to why they would trade him. And seeing the media attack me, trying to say I'm a negative player because I'm smart, I'm well spoken, this, that, and the other. And to see the Celtics trade me after a career year, after helping y'all out, keeping y'all relevant, and the package that you traded me for, he gonna come in. I feel like next year he's gonna come in with a huge chip on his shoulder, a huge chip on his shoulder, to the point where I think he's gonna play his best basketball. He's gonna come in like, look, y'all want to make me the villain? I bet I'm gonna be the villain. He's gonna come in with a huge chip on his shoulder, and it's exactly those type of players that we need on this squad. Now, speaking of the objective, we're done with the Celtics, man. Woo! I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for this years. This is the most excited I have felt about this team since 2019. I think going into 2021, I didn't think we'd be the first seed that year. 2022, I was like 2023, I was like, okay, we have a little bit of hype here because we had James and the Houston Sixers with Morey's team building. This, I would say, going into the 24 season, I was a little excited, but I think we had like a championship squad. This is the most excited I felt since 2019, before the Kawhi shot put a dagger in my chest. I believe that this team, if the minimal expectation is the conference finals, minimum, we can go to the finals. The Philadelphia 76ers can go to the finals. They can. They have a very, 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 very deep roster, deep starting lineup, and Mike Gansey has changed my life. He's changed my life for the better or the worse. I remember, as many of you know, I am a journalism communications major, and I wrote a couple of columnist articles for our school's newspaper. And in my article, I kind of tore and bashed down Daryl Morey and his horrible executive decisions and moves. And I wrote at the end of the article, I said the Sixers need to hire someone and cut ties with Morey and hire someone that will bring the vision of a championship and championship visions and moves back to the Sixers. That's what I wrote. Mike Gansey has not been here for more than 1 month, and he has already turned his team into a contender within 4 days, bro. 4 days. The fact that you were able to get off the Paul George contract, and you turn that into a guy coming off his career year, an all-star, and a finals MVP 2 seasons ago is incredible. It's absolutely incredible. His first move was drafting Liberian Phylon. So obviously that trade was the McCain trade. The Rockets, it was the Rockets pick, 22nd overall pick. And obviously everyone's like, why would you replace McCain with another guard, Phylon? The Sixers had no bench last year. I watched a lot. I think I might have watched at least 55 Sixers games last year, 55. And this team had zero bench at all. They were one of the worst scoring statistical benches in the NBA. They had no scoring off the bench, no rebounding, no shooting, no threes, nothing. And within 3 to 4 days, he's turned the team into a contender. In his first move, he decides to draft a guard, Liberian Phylon, who to me has a little Shea in his game. You're like, oh, why are you comparing him to Shea Gilgeous-Alexander? He has a little. I've watched. I knew him his freshman. I saw him as freshman year too, and he improved his scoring a lot. Last year. And Phylon is a very good shooter, very good 3-level scorer, can pass the rock and play very well in the pick and roll game. Has a really good shooter's touch. He was supposed to be a lottery pick, by the way. He was supposed to be a lottery pick, and he continued to slip and slip and slip to the Sixers' hands. And they've done that the past few years now, even predating the Morey era, the Daryl Morey era, where they've had guards that have fell right into their lap, draft steals. I think Phylon can be another steal in this move. That's his first move. His second move was signing Dean Wade. The Sixers, I also complained, the Sixers did not have a power forward. They didn't have wings. They didn't have wing players. No wing players. And I've been complaining for that for the past 3 to 4 seasons now. Even with Tobias, even with Paul George, they do not have a wing. They do not have a power forward. Dean Wade, in my opinion, humbly, one of the underrated defensive players in the league, can switch on anybody, and he can knock down threes. Instantly place him at the 4 and place him next to Joel. That's Joel's best power forward he's had in years. His skill set is easily one of the best power forwards that Joel's ever played with. A switching defender, power forward who can knock down threes easily. And then his next move was obviously the blockbuster, fleecing Jaylen Brown, fleecing the Celtics and punking them to get Jaylen Brown. And then signing Anthony Simons, who's a very, very, very good player off the bench, can knock down threes, can score the basketball. He can get you 12 to 13 points off the bench. Very, 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 very good fit for the Sixers and Simons as well. Contenders wanted him as well. I was thinking the Heat were going to try and grab him, but we do. And then obviously signing Ariel Hukporti from the Knicks. I've seen the tape. I've seen his highlights. I'm like, oh, I think Hukporti is already one of the better backup 5s that we've had. Very wild. That's just me watching the Knicks tape. Maybe it was Mike Brown making him look good too, so I don't know if he goes to a different system and different coaching staff, and maybe they can get him the most at the backup 5, but he was the 3rd-string center for the Knicks, and he had some nice moments for them in the season as well. Bona, he'll be back on the team, so whatever. And Bona's, I don't think he's that great as a backup 5. Hopefully Justin Edwards and Barlow. You have Barlow and Edwards off the bench. I've been kind of waiting for a Justin Edwards breakout season. Hasn't happened yet. Could be next season. My favorite game from Justin Edwards was the Celtics game at home when he had like 6 to 7 threes. He was going crazy in the second half. Barlow off the bench. I don't think Barlow was a starting level power forward, even though he started a lot of games. Great hustler, great rebounder. His offensive game, a little bit lacking. Good defender, good rebounder, good hustle, but I don't think his offensive game kind of limited him to being in the starting rotation. So already this team looks like a championship squad. How are you going to be able to defend this team if they're fully healthy? If Joel can play 50 games next year, they're going to the finals. If he can play 50 back half of the season games next year, they're going to make a deep run. The Sixers should just give him every game next season, give him 2-day rest. Do not play him back-to-backs. Don't play him if you play, I don't know, random. If we play the Celtics on a Tuesday and we play the Bulls on a Thursday, don't play him. Give him 2 days max. 2 days. 2 days. Because this is Joel's best team and best chance to win a title. And we see his game is still his game is still there. We saw it in the playoffs. When he's on the floor healthy, his game is still there. We saw him dominate when he came back and was the difference maker and why the Sixers came back and won the series, coming back down 3-1. We saw it. When he's on the floor, he's elite. When he plays and he's on the floor, he's amazing. How are you going to be able to guard this team if they're fully healthy? Like, okay, we'll take away we'll double Tyrese. Okay, if you double Tyrese, we have Jaylen Brown one-on-one. Okay, we'll try and double Jaylen Brown. Okay, you have Maxey and Joel in the pick and roll. Okay, we'll double Joel in the paint. You have these 3 guys ready to feast on you. Okay, we'll focus on the perimeter. Joel's one-on-one. It's going to be hard to defend this team. And the guard rotation with these 4 guys is already better than McCain and Quentin Grimes. Anthony Simons is twice the player better than Quentin Grimes. Quentin Grimes, he sucked. I was a huge fan of him, not last season, but the season before. We had 40. I remember he can come in and be that guy off the bench, that scoring guy off the bench. He was terrible. He was terrible in the playoffs. He was terrible down the stretch. The only nice moments he had was that defensive moment, actually against Jaylen Brown, and he knocked down that huge 3 in game 5. Other than that, he was terrible. In the Knicks series, he was terrible. So already these 2 guys in Philon and Simons are LeBaron Philon and Anthony Simons already are a better guard rotation than what they had in Maxey, VJ, Quentin Grimes, and McCain. It is. I understand the McCain trade was bad, but this could make up everything. This guard rotation is easily already better than the previous one they had. And speaking of that, they need to have guards off the bench too, because Tyrese and VJ led the league in minutes last year. Tyrese led the league in minutes, and VJ was probably around top 5, and he definitely was the most in rookie minutes. We'll see what Nick Nurse can do with this team. If the Sixers are not as good as we project them to be with this team building, if Nurse is the problem, he needs to go. He saved his job last season, coming back down 3-1, because I do believe if they lost that series in embarrassing fashion, losing in 5, he was going to get fired. And you bring in a new organization, typically you bring in a new organization and new leadership. Typically you bring your head coach as well. So it's a bit, I was not surprised and a little bit surprised because he saved his job coming back down 3-1 against the Celtics. So we'll see if the Gansey-Nurse combo works. I believe it can. Nurse did play. I think he did. He outcoached Joe Mazzulla in that series as well. Also, Mazzulla was making some boneheaded decisions. He outcoached Mazzulla down the stretch of that series and what saved his job. But we'll see with a bench and with actually a good roster and good roster building. This is Nurse's best team that he's had as the Sixers head coach. So we'll see if he can do it. If he is struggling, and if this team is struggling, if he's struggling with this team, he has to go. He has got to go, and you can get Gansey someone and someone of his guy to build, because typically with new organization, new leadership, you bring in a new guy. So we'll go to the tweets as well. I can also share some of the tweets that I reposted about this. We have Shams reporting it as well. He never requested trade. But yeah, I mean, this is, another thing that Gansey has done. Jason Tatum tweet, but like, yeah, I mean, you look at that starting five already. It's title contention. This tweet makes a lot. This tweet I really liked as well. These two really. Maxi moving off the ball more is such a good part about this trade. Him getting him back into that elite spot shooter complement the speed with the ball will only open up the offense up more. Jaylen Brown's elite scoring will be an unbelievable addition. I do believe that in some parts, I believe the trade also makes Maxi not too ball heavy dominant, because he did start the season extremely hot, and then kind of the second half of the season he fell off a bit, because not only because his minutes were so high, it's because part of Nick Nurse's offense was just ISO ball, was Maxi ISO ball. And if you can get a more fluid and continuity offense, it'll look a lot better with Jaylen Brown, with VJ, with Joel, with Dean Wade. This tweet I also very liked as well. The Jaylen Brown trade, at the very least, reignited the fire for the Sixers basketball in the city. Gansey dropping his balls on the table 3 weeks in his tenure is the most refreshing drink of water the fan base and franchise in here. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Like, going from the Knicks, storming the arena and taking over the arena, to people like me, still being a fan every day of this team, but not really caring that much, because you know that they're not going to do anything, or the roster isn't that good. That's what it really makes sense to me. So yeah, that's what it tells. That's what it gives to me. It's just beautiful. It really is. This whole thing is just, it's beautiful. And now the recent reports as well that the Sixers are now expected to pursue and have interest in LeBron James. Man, it's beautiful. It really is. It really is. If you can get LeBron to come to Philly, that would be the cherry on top, the icing on the cake. This is LeBron. I think if LeBron were to come here, this would be his best chance to close out his career and winning a championship for the team, for winning a championship in his last year of his career. Maybe one. I think it's 1 year. I think maybe next year might be his last year. Honestly, I don't. I would give the Sixers a chance, like 40 to 50% chance. You look at the team. You saw Rich Paul and the clipboard. We saw it. We saw the clipboard, and him talking about it'd be an awesome fit for him to join the team. It makes a lot of sense, and yeah. So we've seen the Gansey connection as well. Mike Gansey and LeBron, they played high school basketball in the same state of Ohio. Gansey was also a part of the Cavs organization from 2011 to this upcoming last season, where he got hired to the Sixers organization as president of basketball operations. So the connection is there. The high school basketball connection is there. You see the team and fit in the roster, and it's a championship contending team. And you plug LeBron to 4, like, that's a perfect fit. It's an absolute perfect fit. And it's his best chance to win a title in the last year of his career. But the new reports today saying that the Cavs are ultimately, right now, they're the favorites. They're the front runners to re-sign LeBron. And as a LeBron fan, LeBron's my favorite player of all time. So if LeBron comes to Philly, I'll faint. I'm a faint. I'm gonna buy every jersey. I'm gonna buy every sort of merch, jersey. I will spend $500 to $600 on a ticket. So I'll faint. LeBron's been. I mean, there's a LeBron little poster right there that I've had plaque on my wall. Actually had this plaque since like 2013. It's the D Wade LeBron photo. I've had that for literally plus decade now. So LeBron coming to Philly, like, I will faint. I've seen LeBron play in Philly before, so I would faint. My favorite player my favorite athlete of all time coming to play for my favorite team. I rooted for LeBron my entire life. So that happening would be icing on the cake to him come for his last year, potentially win a championship, because this would be his best team to win a championship. The Cavs would make sense because we saw also reports and rumors that he's going to have cameras following him the entire season. So that could be a documentary for his last season and also for his homegrown team, the team he won a championship for, the team that drafted him. So that also makes a lot of sense too. But that will do it for this episode or YouTube video. Talking about Jaylen Brown, the Celtics, Jaylen Brown, the Celtics being traded to the Sixers. Also, please don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms, Timeout with Makali on YouTube and on Apple Podcasts, as well as TikTok, Timeout with Makali Pod on TikTok, Instagram, and on Twitter. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.